Hello, I'm Josh Jennings, Golden Harvest agronomist for Central and Southeast Kansas. As corn has started to transition into the reproductive stages, I've been getting a lot of questions about what diseases may be present or starting to develop in cornfields. The disease I'm getting asked about the most is probably the most common foliar fungal corn disease found in the U.S. Corn Belt, gray leaf spot. So how does gray leaf spot start to develop, and what sort of symptoms are we looking for? Gray leaf spot is a fungal disease. That fungus can survive and overwinter on corn residue left on the soil surface. As we move into more favorable conditions, which include warmer temperatures along with wet, humid environments, spores will be produced. Eventually, these spores will be transferred to the lower leaves of the current corn crop. As the disease progresses, lesions will start to develop in between the veins on the corn leaves. This will give the lesions a rectangular to blocky appearance. These lesions can be tan to gray in color and reach lengths of 2 to 3 inches. If conditions continue to be favorable, more lesions will develop, eventually overtaking entire leaves and progressing up the plant. This is one way that gray leaf spot can impact corn grain yields. So as that disease continues to progress, photosynthetic area is going to be reduced, limiting the amount of carbohydrates needed for ear development. Most of the carbohydrates produced for ear development are going to be produced at the leaves located at the ear or higher on the corn plant. So it's important that we keep this area of the plant as disease-free and healthy as possible. Secondly, if carbohydrate is limited, the plant may start to pull carbohydrates from the lower portion of this plant to assist with ear development. This can reduce stalk quality, allowing stalk rot pathogens to infect the plant, increasing the potential for stalk lodging later in the season. So what are management practices to consider when dealing with gray leaf spot? Residue management. I mentioned earlier that the fungus can survive and overwinter on corn debris left on the soil surface. So management practices such as tillage and crop rotation can reduce the amount of that corn residue left on the soil surface, reducing the amount of fungus available for crop infection. In crop rotations, in minimum type tillage situations, there may be a need to rotate out of corn for more than 1 year to allow for more time for that residue to break down. Hybrid selection is also important when considering gray leaf spot management. Although all corn hybrids have some sort of susceptibility to gray leaf spot, certain hybrids are more resistant than others. So selecting a hybrid that's got some resistance may help reduce the spread of gray leaf spot and limit any sort of yield impact it may have had on that corn crop. For in-season control and management of gray leaf spot, a fungicide application may be needed. A few things to consider before applying that fungicide is what hybrid do I have planted in the field? So what's the susceptibility of the product that I've got? And then the presence of the disease within the field, and where am I seeing it located on the plant? So if I've got a moderately susceptible to highly susceptible product, and I'm seeing lesions develop on 2 to 3 leaves below that ear leaf on 50% or more of the plants, a fungicide application may be justified. A few other things to consider when assessing the need of a fungicide application is field history of the disease, tillage practice within that field, crop rotation for that field, and the weather forecast. Are conditions going to be favorable for that disease development? If you have any questions on gray leaf spot or anything else you may be seeing in your field or want to know more about Golden Harvest products, please reach out to your local seed advisor, sales rep, and agronomist, and we'll be glad to help. Thank you. I'm Josh Jennings, Golden Harvest agronomist.